12th session of the Oswego County Legislature. We'll start out, we're going to have a public hearing with the county attorney. Please read the heading.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There are actually two public hearings tonight. The first is regarding proposed local law number 2, 2025, regarding a registration system for short-term rental units in the county. And the second public hearing is regarding ag districts and the inclusion of viable agricultural lands in the ag district. We'll start with the local law. Please take notice that the County Legislature of the County of Oswego will meet at the Legislative Chambers, 46 East Bridge Street, Oswego, New York, 13126 at 7 o'clock p.m. on the 12th day of June, 2025. For the purpose of holding a public hearing on local law number 2 of the year 2025, titled County of Oswego Local Law number 2 of 2025, establishing the registration system for short-term rental units in and for the County of Oswego. By order of the Oswego County Legislature, dated May 15, 2025, Betsy Sherman Saunders, Clerk. Any persons wishing to be heard regarding proposed local law number 2 of 2025 regarding short-term rental unit registration system, please step forward and state your name.
Senator Martino. Yes, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. The first public hearing is regarding the registration system for the short-term rental. I would call Amy Engel forward. Are you Amy?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can come forward to the podium. You give 5 minutes. Don't be intimidated, there's a little light in the buzzer system.
I am rather intimidated. So I am not real sure of the whole process of how the laws get passed, and if this is hearing for input for the law, or if it's already done.
No, it's actually, well, I'll ask her to speak into the microphone, but for your knowledge, this is a public hearing for your input.
Okay,
And
thank
then
you.
typically later on, the law's not passed yet.
Okay, thank
But
you.
we'll have to, if we so choose, pass that later on in the evening. But then, as I understand, it goes to the state for ratification.
So I have recently began a short-term rental in the town of Oswego and have been present in many of the town meetings where they have discussed the law that was enacted at the state level. And should like to express my concern for the amount of cost that could possibly be involved. I did not see a exact permit fee being proposed with this law in the documents. And also the amount of tourism that we bring into the county and the amount of dollars that the tourists spend coming to my Airbnb with a book that sends them to the Renaissance Fair and Ontario Orchards and Oswego Speedway and many things within the county that bring a lot of money. And there have been absolutely no issues in my Airbnb. And so I feel like the regulation is coming mostly to get New York State their tax money, which is already being collected from our Airbnbs. So I don't quite understand the need to have a law that polices them so strictly in the county. There were a lot of pieces that I wasn't quite clear on, like the occupancy limits and 2 people in a bedroom. But if you have a camp-style home with multiple bedrooms, one large bedroom or a studio, I'm not sure how that would be defined for bedrooms. Trying to think of other questions, but I do feel like our Airbnbs are not to be regulated this strictly.
Anything else?
I have questions about the fire code being like the maps that are going to be required, and questions. I wonder if there will be inspections as part of it. It stated what the requirements were, but it didn't state if there would be inspections. It also stated that there would be penalty potentially after the second violation, which seems unusual to me, that why would people register before they had 2 violations if there's nothing involved until the violation? And then also keeping track, if you're using one of the systems like Airbnb, they are collecting the taxes, so I'm very unclear on how and why we have to have records for 2 years of every occupant. I feel like it needs more public input into what's included.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I would call Julie Hall forward. Thank you. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. I too also am here to speak on behalf of being someone whose husband and I operate Airbnb. We have successfully done this for 4 years in the county. And I can definitely attest to the fact that the fair rates that we offer have earned me a 5-star rating. So therefore, I certainly am meeting the expectation of guests for cleanliness, safety, security. It's on a private piece of property, so parking is not an issue. And yet it is mentioned that we have to define what the parking spaces are. It's a building and a piece of property that my husband and I have paid taxes on faithfully for many, many years. The water bill gets paid, and again, I feel it supplements, quite honestly, it supplements my husband's current retirement. That was the plan all along. We originally did have expectation of long-term rentals. We did that originally the first year, and unfortunately, after several months, the renters decided to stop paying, and this was after COVID, after those requirements, and it literally took us a year and $3,000 in legal fees to get them out, because New York State and Oswego County does not, more so the town of Scriba, where we are located, does not support a landlord over the tenants. So that is why we converted our building into Airbnb. They do background checks. Our neighbors are very pleased with the people that have been there. There's been no noise concerns. And I just feel that a law going on the books regulating all of this would detract from us being able to participate and bring in that revenue and the people who come back. I have families who have come in and they attend Parents Weekend for 3 years in a row, 4 years in a row, I guess would be this year. And then they have come for graduation. I have the same people who have been here for 3 years come in for Dirt Week. So they are consistent. It is definite income for not just my husband and I, but for the county. And penalizing us for property that we own and we regulate on our own without issue just does not seem to be appropriate to have to be put on a law. And that is our concern. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. At this time, I would call Stephanie Sandways. Stephanie? Any Stephanies? Anybody?
I'm her sister, but she's not here right now.
Oh, she left. Do you have a comment or?
I know just now that she doesn't want it to happen.
Okay. Is there anyone else who would like to speak on this local law?
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Rita.
do you think it would be appropriate to address a couple of those concerns right now? Or not? I mean,
Go ahead.
I think for anybody that's worried about this is not a tax on you, the owner. It's a permit fee to track the rental units. And for years, our tourism department has promoted activities in the county, promotes the county in general, and people who own hotels and motels, they have to pay a fee, and that goes directly to tourism. That's the bed tax. This is a tax that is just exactly like the bed tax because, and to you specifically, thank you that you run yours great. This should not impact you whatsoever, other than that you are now in the registry and permitted to do that. There's a lot of people who run them and don't do that. There's a lot of people who are causing problems, and there's more and more of them all the time. So this is going to give us a facility to track them. You're not going to see that tax. There's a small bed tax that's going to be charged to the person that rents. And it's going to help us continue to promote the activities in Oswego County, which is hopefully going to continue to help people want to come and stay at your Airbnb. I just thought that those things were important to understand.
And I was like, what about the inspections? I mean, will the people be coming onto our properties and?
Well, if you have questions, you should call our planning department
Okay,
and inquire. It's not like we're going to be running out knocking on your door tomorrow.
okay.
This is going to go to the Department of State to be filed as a law. But you should be able to get all your questions answered at the planning department.
I appreciate
Who are,
that.
they're going to be the folks here that are implementing this.
I appreciate that, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak on that? Thank you.
There being no other persons wishing to speak, I request you declare the public hearing closed at 7:16.
All right, thank you. And then the next,
Notice of public hearing. Please take notice the county legislature of the county of Oswego will meet at the legislative chambers, 46 East Bridge Street, Oswego, New York, 13126 at 7 o'clock p.m. on the 12th day of June 2025, with the purpose of holding a public hearing regarding requests of landowner inclusion within the existing certified agricultural district pursuant to New York State Ag and Markets Law, Section 303B as amended. By order of the Oswego County Legislature, dated May 15, 2025, Betsy Sherman Saunders, Clerk. Any persons wishing to be heard regarding the inclusion of viable agricultural land within the certified ag district for the county of Oswego, please step forward and state your name.
Legislator Martino.
There are none.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, there being no persons wishing to be heard regarding the proposed inclusion of viable agricultural property in the ag district, I request to declare the public hearing closed at 7:18.
Thank you. Moving now to our regular meeting, I will call the call to order. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Michael Yurden,
Present.
Herbert Yurden,
Present.
Edward Gilson,
Here.
David Holmes, Roy Rehill,
Here.
John Martino,
Here.
Frank Lombardo,
Here.
Paul House,
Here.
James Weatherup,
Here.
Mary Ellen Chesbro,
Here.
Linda Lockwood,
Here.
Richard Klein,
Present.
Patrick Twist,
Here.
Stephen Walpole's been marked excused, Kevin Hill,
Here.
James Scanlon,
Here.
Charles Berger,
Here.
Robert Wilmot's been marked excused, Maurice Schaad's been marked excused, Paul Conley,
Here.
Noel Samuelson,
Here.
James Karasik has been marked excused, Michael Soloway has been marked excused, Mark Greco,
Here.
Frank Castilia.
Wouldn't miss it.
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 present and 5 excused. You have a quorum.
Thank you. Would you please lead us in the invocation?
Let us be thankful for this opportunity to serve our community. May we use only the best skills and judgment, keeping ourselves impartial and neutral as we consider the merits and pitfalls of each matter that is placed before us, and always act in accordance with what is best for our community and our fellow citizens. Grant us clarity, courage, and resolve, and above all, we ask for guidance in all that we do. Amen.
Now, the pledge today will be led by legislators Connolly and Lockwood.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before we get to the approval of minutes, just for clarity for some of the people that perhaps don't come often, right after the adjournment of the meeting, we're going to have a special meeting of F&P to discuss a salary matter, just so you know, and then we'll continue on with the public comments. So, moving then to, I trust we've seen the minutes for the regular meeting on May 15th and the special meeting on June 5th. Looking for a motion? Motion second. Any discussion? Legislator Castillo.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to make a note to make sure that the video camera working. We got enough film in the camera.
And it's plugged in.
Okay, all right, I'm just checking to make sure, we don't want any technical difficulties.
I got 5 hours in here.
And, sir, I would just ask that everybody use their outside voice if they're not going to use their microphone. There are people that are hard of hearing and have difficulty with the, not using your outside voice. Thank you very much, sir.
So all in favor of the minutes?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Moving on to proclamations. This is the 33rd annual Oswego County Envirothon winner to Oswego High School, so I would ask that the Economic Development, Tourism, and Planning Committee, along with Erica Schreiner, Glenn Lynn, Elliot Newell, Nora Newell, Aaron O'Brien, Abby Peters, and Julie Kinsey, please come forward.
Apparently I do. There we go. 1, 2, 3. And a second. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, the Oswego County Legislature would like to present a proclamation to Oswego High School. I remember my outside voice, I guess, that's what it said. For achieving first place in the Envirothon. So in recognition of Oswego County Envirothon, first place, Oswego High School, whereas a community is created by the hearts of its citizens, sustained by those dedicated to its prosperity, and inspired by those special heroes of everyday life. And whereas the Oswego High School competed in the 33rd annual Oswego County Envirothon at Oswego County Nature Park at Camp Zerby, Town of Hastings, on May 1st, 2025, placing first overall performance out of 80 county teams. Wow. And whereas Oswego High School competed in the New York State Envirothon on May 28th and 29th, 2025 at the State University of New York at Portland, in Portland, New York, placing 18th out of 39 teams in the whole state. And whereas the Envirothon coordinated by the Oswego County Soil and Water Conservation District is a hands-on outdoor environmental education competition. It tests the knowledge of students in the subject areas of aquatics, current environmental issues, forestry, soil and land use, and wildlife. And whereas the Oswego team was made up of Len Lynn, and he is representing them today. You're the only member on the team. You must have been the captain. The other folks aren't here, but I'm going to read their names because they deserve the credit. So Len Lynn, Elliot Newell, Nora Newell, Aaron O'Brien, Abby Peters, and guided by advisor Julia Kinsey. Is Julia? And your name?
I'm Jason Dial, I'm a science teacher.
Okay, perfect. Then you talk.
Yeah.
For being here. Whereas such an example of dedication and commitment to our environment is inspiring and now deserves our proud attention and community recognition. Now therefore be it resolved that James Weatherup, Chairman of the Oswego County Legislature, on behalf of the entire legislature and the people of Oswego County, do hereby recognize Oswego High School
and commend each student, team advisor, families for their efforts, guidance, and support that bring this useful inspiration to our grateful community.
I would just like to add that these students study all of these subjects in addition to their normal school workload. So we really commend you and your teammates for your effort winning the Oswego County Fire-Thon, representing Oswego County at the New York State Fire-Thon. Congratulations.
Thank you. At this time, I can have the Government Courts and Consumer Affairs Committee, along with David Turner, please come forward.
Picture first.
All right. On the count of three.
Pretend like you like me.
1, 2, 3. And the second. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Thank you.
Read this. County of Oswego, State of New York, Certificate of Appreciation awarded to David R. Turner in recognition for the honorable public service in the employment of Oswego County. Presents with an expression of appreciation for dedicated service for the benefit of Oswego County and the welfare of its citizens. Awarded on the 3rd of April 2025. Congratulations.
Thank you, and I would add, as chairman for the last 7 years, and the 5 or 6 years before that, I worked very closely with Dave. He's been nothing but professional. We've had disagreements over the years, but mostly on how much beer I owe him for doing me favors. He came up with a truck today to pick it up, and I had to tell him we weren't quite ready to deliver yet. He's been an asset for the county, and sad to see him go, but he went out the top. So, again, congratulations.
So, during my time here, I had the pleasure of working under two county administrators, Steve Lyman and Phil Church. And I'll tell you, it's impossible to know everything that's going on every place in all of our departments and buildings and the services we offer, but nobody gets closer to knowing everything and staying on top of it than Phil Church. You've got yourself a great administrator who works really hard to make sure you all get the things that you and your neighbors and your citizens deserve. I also have had the pleasure of working under 5 different chairmen, and I think the longest, and I don't know how he managed that, was Chairman Weatherup, but it's been a pleasure working with him, all of you as well. From the day I was hired, of the members who were either in a legislative or a leadership position, the last man standing out of all that group is Kevin Gardner, still here. I don't know what he attributes his longevity to, but you guys might want to talk to him about that. It really has been a pleasure. It makes your job really easy if you surround yourself with good people. I've had a great team all the time I'm here. Great support from them. And when I say team, I include
various members of the legislature who have come and gone over that time. So we got a lot done, but it's because we worked together, and I appreciate all of your help.
Yes, thank you. Dave said we had a special night meeting just for legislators to see. At this point, I was going to try to sneak this one in. It's supposed to be a little bit of a surprise, but apparently our county administrator, Ken Reed, he noticed it was up on the board. So at this time, and much as Dave Turner had just said, myself, I've worked with Phil Church now for some 7 years as the chairman. I wouldn't say 100% pleasant, but it's in the high 90s. Everything has worked real good. 80s. No, it's truly in the 90s. It's in way top. I'm talking 98, 99. But at this point, Phil Church has served here a long time, admirably. Started out on the bottom, basically mowing lawns, taking pictures for tourism, things like that. And he's worked his way right up through, so I would tell that to all the employees here that there's nothing that's not attainable. The man is living proof. He is actually now very involved in NISAC, and I think he'll be president next year. So that's quite an honor. So again, congratulations. And in recognition of honorable public service and the employment of Oswego County, presented as an expression of appreciation for dedicated service for the benefit of Oswego County and the welfare of its citizens. Thank you. Thank you, Judge.
All right, well, thank you. Just getting started. But I do appreciate, a lot has been accomplished over the years, but it's not because of one or two people. We need a whole legislature that works together, that takes the advice of the department heads and the administration, weighs it, and makes the best choices. So really all the good that this county does comes from all of us working together, and I look forward to staying in that capacity, and I appreciate your recognition tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. As an added bonus for you good citizens listening to all of us, we do have a small announcement from Mr. Forstier.
We do? June is Dairy Month, and so in honor of June is Dairy Month, we have milk from Hudson's Dairy and cheese from Colos Cheese, which is available for everybody. That's why it's on this side of the rail, so everybody can enjoy it. And I would encourage you to come up and help yourself and help us celebrate June is Dairy Month.
Thank you. Any introduction of visitors? Thank you. Any public speakers on resolutions of the day? Legislator Martino. There are some?
No, it's the next one.
It's the next one down.
Back that way.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so at this time, I'd like to invite Diane Hutchinson, Rizzo?
Litchison.
Hutchinson. All right, well.
Lucio.
All right, thank you. If you could please come forward. For format, just in case you don't know, it's we allow 5 minutes speaking on resolutions of the day. And would you know which resolution you're speaking about?
What's up there?
GC1 is the one you're talking about? All right, thank you.
My name is Diane Litchison Cusio, and I'm a resident of District 11. I'd like to address the legislature regarding Resolution EP2 to award a professional services contract for Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act Youth Services. This is tremendously important opportunity for local Oswego County youth who face barriers in education, training, and employment. According to the Department of Labor, this youth program offers tutoring, alternative high school services, paid and unpaid work experiences, summer and year-round, pre-apprenticeship programs, internships, job shadowing, occupational skills training, leadership development, supportive services, mentoring and guidance, as well as financial literacy education. On a personal note, my granddaughter, who is 16, received her letter today that she is going to be working for Youth Services. So this is very personal to me. She was so excited. She's going to be making money. And she's a go-getter. Under the program's guidances, at least 75% of these services must focus on out-of-school youth, something that is essential in a county where high school dropout rates are well above the state average, particularly for those from economically disadvantaged families who have a high school graduation rate of just 7.4%, according to the New York State Education Department. The meeting agenda does not make clear the size of this expenditure, but I'm sure it's money well spent to provide our young people with opportunities to prepare for a successful future. Given that these programs increase measurable skills by more than 63%, making this investment in our youth will pay great dividends for them and for our whole community. My question is this: is the county prepared to carry through with supporting this program if the underlying federal funding from the Department of Labor is cut, as is proposed in the so-called Big Beautiful Bill? The President's proposed budget calls for a 29% cut in funding for these programs, plus the complete elimination of Job Corps. There is, in fact, uncertainty about whether this will be reauthorized at all. Will Oswego County be able to make good on the promises, not just for this contractor whose bid you are voting on today, but to young people who plan to participate in this program, and to the taxpayers who are supporting the local share of this expenditure? What is this body doing to advocate for the reauthorization of this program and for a federal spending package that will better support workforce development and the complex needs of our Oswego County community? Are you in contact with Congresswoman Tenney to discuss the devastating impact these cuts would have on our youth and their future? This bill would be anything but beautiful for our county, and our representatives need to advocate for our needs. We need your help. Will you help us?
resolution that you're speaking about?
I'm addressing the human services.
All resolutions?
Well, I hope so. Am I speaking close enough here?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Okay. It's really quite wonderful to hear the testimony of Mr. Church and David Turner, Mr. Turner, and how well you work together and how cooperative you are, and I'm hoping that continues on the topic that I'm going to bring up. The Human Services Committee oversees social services, the Office of Aging, and various medical assistance programs. Several resolutions on the floor seek funding extensions. I would like to know if any of them anticipate what we have been told will happen to our county if the big federal budget bill gets passed with drastic cuts to Medicaid, SNAP, and Medicare. I hope they do. And I hope they manage to change Congresswoman Tenney's vote so she stands up for health care in our county. Michael Backus, President and CEO of Oswego Health, has told us that in New York, hospitals alone would lose at least $1.3 billion per year. In our district, in our congressional district, we stand to lose an estimated $12 million in critical funding every year. This is Backus's talk. He goes on, these are not just abstract numbers on a balance sheet. They translate directly into fewer services, longer wait times, job losses, and reduced access to the care you and your family and I depend on. I shared Michael Backus's warning with each of you county legislators via email a few weeks ago. I heard back from 2 of you, and I hope that at least you two reach out in turn to Representative Tenney. One of our local doctors has said that if this bill gets passed, Oswego's hospital would actually need to close. It's clear that rural hospitals are more vulnerable than urban ones. Can you imagine Oswego without our hospital? Yesterday, a local nurse told me that a nursing home in another county where her father expected to get into closed suddenly with just 1 month's notice. What will happen when hospitals and nursing homes lose so much funding that they have to take drastic steps, maybe shut down? Will old people need to be put out on the sidewalks? How many will go hungry when the $3,163,000 spent on SNAP benefits in our county get cut by 30%? How can we cope when the 28.2% of the population of this county who are enrolled in Medicaid get pared down 30% or whatever it ends up being? If these draconian cuts aren't greatly reduced, people will die across the country and here in Oswego. And we all, you and I and Representative Tenney, will have blood on our hands. I urge you to do all you can. I urge this Human Services Committee to do all you can to prevent this pending disaster for health care and nutritional assistance in our county. We deserve it, and time is running out.
Thank you. Any reports of county officials? Any reports of standing committees? Legislator Chesler.
Chairman Woodruff, I just wanted to report on tourism. On the back counter, there is 4 pages of events that will be going on throughout Oswego County. Anything from concerts in Phoenix, Oswego, and Fulton, Husband Cup Regatta at the Rock Yacht Club, whitewater rafting in Salmon River, Taste of Oswego, fireworks, and in 2 days we'll be celebrating the 250th birthday of the Army at the fort, and of course 4th of July celebrations throughout the county. And there's a lot more than what I just said, so definitely take a look at it. It's something to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Any reports of special committees? Chairman? Legislator Scanlon.
Yes, I'd like to let everyone know that Oswego County is, the Office of the Aging is celebrating with the Alzheimer's Association. They're putting on a Thursday, June 19th, Longest Day celebration at the Farmers Market here in Oswego. They're going to meet wearing something purple, hopefully, and they're going to walk the healthy mile across the bridges, bring awareness to everyone that is affected by Alzheimer's disease and dementia. They'd like everyone to join them. They can join them as a group, a business, or just by themselves and partake in that walk. And the longest day, even though it's not the longest day, it's a day that's really a good night to be out on a Thursday night in the farmers market.
Thank you. Yep. Moving then to resolutions and motions of the day. Government Courts and Consumer Affairs, Resolution GC1 by Legislator Holt.
Mr. Chairman, I offer this resolution for its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing budgetary modification, Department of the Public Defender, voluntary defined contribution.
Yes, this is where we're just moving money from line to line for retirement change. The amount of $7,779.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, it's 20 in favor, 0 opposed, and 5 abstentions.
Thank you. Resolution GC2 by Legislator Holt.
Mr. Chairman, I offer this resolution for its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing budgetary modification, Department of the Public Defender, other supplies and expenses.
Yes, this is where we change the software for the legal service. This year we'll have no extra cost, but in the following year we'll have a future cost of $700 annually.
Okay. Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 in favor, 0 opposed, and 5 excused.
Thank you. Resolution GC3 by Legislator Holt.
Mr. Chairman, I offer this resolution for its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing budgetary modification, legislature, special district attorney.
Yes, this is an amount of $55,500. This is an increased legal fees for special district attorney use for special prosecuting cases.
Thank you. Any discussion? Legislator Castillo.
Mr. Chairman, during governments and courts, I asked the question, how do we hold these people accountable? How are we making sure we're getting a bang for our buck? I've had it explained to me in the committee. I've had it explained to me by the county attorney, but still there is no, we can look at the bill, it says how much we got, charged for this, how much we got charged for that, but there's no way that we are knowing we're getting our bang for our buck. And I can't support this because, I'm sorry, this is county money, taxpayer money, and we don't know if we're getting it or we're not getting what we need. I'm sorry, it's not in my favor, I will not be voting in favor of this, thank you very much.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 19 in favor, 1 opposed, and 5 excused.
Thank you. Moving to Resolution GC4 by Legislator Holtz.
Mr. Chairman, I offer this resolution for its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution approving the execution of a consulting agreement with Alex Bogowich concerning the Addis ethanol Bolton property.
Yes, this is for the plant out there, and it's somewhat not to exceed $5,000 per month, and it will be through September 30th, 2025.
Thank you. Any discussion? Legislator Castillo.
So I think this gentleman's doing a fine job, he's been doing a fine job for us all along, and I totally agree with this resolution. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 in favor, 0 opposed, and 5 excused.
Thank you. Resolution GC5 by Legislator Holtz.
Mr. Chairman, I offer this resolution for its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution approving and confirming the sale and transfer of certain foreclosed tax property pursuant to real property tax law.
And this does have to be amended for the list
Right, so it needs to be corrected to the list that was distributed?
Correct.
I'll make that.
Thank you. So we have a motion?
Second.
And a second. Any discussion on the amendment? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 in favor, 0 opposed, and 5 excused on the amendment.
Thank you. Back to the original resolution then as amended. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 in favor, 0 opposed, and 5 excused.
Thank you. Moving to resolution GC 6 by legislator Holmes.
Chairman, I offer this resolution, urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution denying administrative correction and tax refund or credit pursuant to New York State Real Property Tax Law 554 and 556 regarding real property located at County Route 17 in the town of Williamstown.
Yes, this is where the Director of the Real Property Services has reviewed the request and conducted an investigation and found no assessment errors in the property.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 in favor, 0 opposed, and 5 excused.
Thank you. Moving to resolution GC 7 by legislator Holmes.
I offer this resolution, urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution establishing capital project number 0725, Addis Substation Maintenance.
Yes, this is an amount of $20,000, so we could do electrical work out there, keep the plant open before it starts.
Yes, thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 in favor, 0 opposed, and 5 excused.
Thank you. Moving to the Public Safety Committee, legislator Greco.
Chairman, I make a motion to move PS 1 and 2 as a block.
You have a second? Seconded by legislator Castillo. Any discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 in favor, 0 opposed, and 5 excused to move this block.
Thank you. Moving to the Human Services Committee, legislator Scanlon.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I am offering these resolutions as a block, HS1 through HS6, and then offering to move forward.
Thank you. We have a second.
Second.
Multiple seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 in favor, 0 opposed, and 5 excused.
Thank you. Moving to the Economic Development Planning Committee, legislator Chesbro.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to move EP1, EP2, and EP3 as a block.
Thank you. Any discussion? Or seconded by legislator Castillo. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 in favor, 0 opposed, and 5 excused to move this block.
Thank you. Health Committee normally, or is chaired by legislator House. There's no resolutions today. So we'll move now to Infrastructure, Facilities, and Technology Committee by legislator Twist with resolution IT1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to offer the following resolutions and urge their adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing budget modification supplementing existing capital project to fund replacement of county's backup virtual server system by the Department of Information Technology.
So this is an additional $200,000 to a previously made capital project so that we can have newer backup systems. And I believe the ones we have now are about just over 6 years old, and technology keeps advancing.
That is a true story. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 in favor, 0 opposed, and 5 excused.
Thank you. Resolution IT2 by legislator Twist.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer the following resolution. Urge adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing the implementation and funding of 100% of the cost of a transportation project which may be eligible for federal aid and/or state aid or reimbursement from Bridge New York Funds, Little Sandy Creek.
So just like we do every year when we fix bridges, we have to put money up front, and usually the percentage is 95%, we pay 5%. And we have to put the money up front anyhow, regardless of if we get the money back. So.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 in favor, 0 opposed, and 5 excused.
Thank you. Resolution IT3 by legislator Twist.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer the following resolution, urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing the implementation and funding of 100% of the cost of a transportation project which may be eligible for federal aid and/or state aid or reimbursement from Bridge New York Funds 23A over Scriber Creek Bridge.
Same as the previous, we gotta fix our bridges.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 in favor, 0 opposed, and 5 excused.
Thank you. Resolution IT4 by legislator Twist.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I offer the following resolution, urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing the implementation and funding of 100% of the cost of a transportation project which may be eligible for federal aid and/or state aid or reimbursement from Bridge New York Funds, Fish Creek.
Doing the same thing.
3 in a row.
3 in a row.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 in favor, 0 opposed, and 5 excused.
Thank you. Moving to resolution IT5 by legislator Twist.
I offer the following resolution, urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution authorizing budget modification with the Highway Department to transfer funds from insurance recovery funds into highway expenses.
Damaged vehicle around $11,000, just accepting the check.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 in favor, 0 opposed, and 5 excused.
Thank you. Finance Personnel Committee, legislator Martino. There are none. But also legislator Martino, we have a waiver.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to waive rules for GC 8 and GC 9 only.
Second.
Multiple seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Resolution GC 8 by legislator Holmes.
Mr. Chairman, I offer this resolution, urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution approving the execution of a grant disbursement agreement and related documents with New York State Urban Development Corporation, DBA Empire State Development, Connect All County Broadband Network.
Yes, for the county of Oswego, we have awarded a $0.6 million grant to the construction of approximately 370 mile access high-speed broadband. And Connect All requested the grant this permit agreement be executed before July 4th, 2025.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 in favor, 0 opposed, and 5 excused.
Thank you. Resolution GC 9 by legislator Holmes.
Mr. Chairman, I offer this resolution, urge its adoption.
Will the clerk please read the heading?
Resolution ratifying and approving all actions taken in furtherance of litigation brought by the County of Oswego against insulin and diabetes medication manufacturers.
Yes, this is where it's going to be litigation against Novo Nordisk, Standard LLC, and Eli Lilly Company.
Can't hear him.
Can't hear you.
I don't know.
It's against Nova Nordisk Incorporated, Santa Fe Advances, U.S. LLC, Eli Lilly Company. Because they've artificially inflated the cost of insulin and other diabetic medications.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mr. Chairman, that's 20 in favor, 0 opposed, and 5 excused.
Thank you. That concludes our resolutions. Any unfinished business? Thank you. Any miscellaneous business? Legislator Castillo.
Camera still on? Still got videotape in there?
5 hours.
Okay. Mr. Chairman and fellow legislators, under miscellaneous business, back in May, there was a letter sent to you. And I'm going to read just the first paragraph. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It says, "We, the undersigned, strongly urge the Oswego County Legislature to adopt a no collusion resolution prohibiting the Oswego County Sheriff and Probation Department from assisting officers from Border Patrol and ICE with immigration enforcement. This legislative body has the power to pass and enforce a local resolution to protect our families, workers, economy, and entire community from the current federal overreach. During public safety, which there was technical difficulties and the tape was not available for anybody to see that meeting, I brought this up because I had talked to the chairman beforehand regarding what committee should this be brought in front of. And at the time, we talked about this right in the meeting, and he said I said governments and courts, he said no, public safety, because it's with the sheriff. And I said fine. So I brought it forward. At that meeting, I requested a no collusion request discussed. I mentioned that we're in a district, a county, and we have an awful lot of contractors that bring people up from other states into our district and onto our county to work. Those people are looking over their shoulders all the time now. There was discussions a little bit. The sheriff may or may not have pointed his finger at me and said his department will assist ICE and the Border Patrol in carrying out their duties. Chairman Greco said that the committee will not entertain the idea of a no collusion resolution. A legislator said something to the fact that should be sent, so you're saying we shouldn't send rapists and murderers back to their home country. And I asked, how do you know they're rapists and murderers? And the gentleman said he didn't. Chairman brought up the fact that back some time ago, I had called him and asked him to have the sheriff come to the Fulton Motel to see about a busload of people coming into the county. And I said, yes, I did. But it was from the mayor, a request from the mayor of the city of Fulton to enforce a county law regarding other municipalities sending people here and paying for them to be here. Every legislator in this legislative body voted in favor of that bill. I one of them, okay? Because we did not need people coming in here that were being paid by another county to come here and putting that much stress on our public safety, our human services, in that category. So that's why we voted for them. People are now being taken are working people. They're not people that are out on the street not working. These are working individuals that are being taken. Now, the chairman of the committee stopped the discussion at that point. That's what it was all about, okay? Now, nobody is asking anybody to not do their job. If there's criminals, if they are committing a crime, yes, we have to enforce the law. But this isn't what the no collusion is asking for. But I wanted to bring that forward because those minutes of that meeting were not available for the public to see, and I wanted everybody to know what happened in that meeting. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
At this time, as a reminder, we have a special FMP meeting with an executive session that will be going on in the conference room across the hall. So at this time, I'm looking for the appropriate motion.
So moved.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Legislator, could you see if there's a sign-up sheet there? Legislator Martino is left for the FMP meeting.
No, we want to wait.
They're not going to be here. We're waiting for our registration.
All right. Thank you. If I could have your attention, please.
I'm leaving for medical reasons, my knees hurt.
All right. Thank you. At this point, in the interest of time, as it is already past 8 o'clock, I understand some of you would like to wait. I am unsure how long the F&P meeting will be, and there's also an executive session. Having said that, if somebody would like to speak now, we could get started on this.
Absolutely
No.
not. No way! No way!
No
work
Honestly,
for
sir,
us.
they do not have to be here.
We don't work for you, we
You
work
can
for us.
Hey,
And we expect the
listen, I will wait and they will wait, but I'm just trying to be polite and tell you, I don't know when they're
No,
coming
you're
back.
not trying
So
to
we'll
be.
stay
If
here.
you wanna wait, if you wanna wait, you're willing to wait, I think there's still some milk and things back there, and we'll wait.
Sir, we will stay here until they come back.
We're on an hour drive.
What's your name, sir?
Larry O'Brien.
Larry O'Brien.
I'm gonna stay here to the end, but I thought I'd get mine over with.
All right. Thank you, you have 5 minutes.
Really? Okay, I'll try to be brief. Now, so, you know, I was heartened to hear all the community developing the college or the high school kids and the dairy. It shows community, you know, and that's important. And, you know, so often I hear today, you know, if I'm okay, then you're okay. You hear that a lot from people. You hear that from a lot of people in government, I hear that from people, opinionated people. But it's always, if I'm okay, you're okay, until, you know, I'm not okay. And I guess it gets down to, you know, what are your values? And for life of me, I can't understand why our Congresswoman does not want to speak to the people that are knocking on our door. You all, you know, you have agency. You know, she had better pick up your phone call, right? And I'm not sure what you all are afraid of, quite frankly. You know, it seems to be there's a lot of angst to try to, you know, say what, you know, live your values and you know, live them and explain to them what's right and wrong. Now, you can get caught up in all the crap that you hear on social media today and all the, you know, the reasons. You know, immigration is one, but you know, one of the things I was looking at is, you know, trickle-down economics, supply-side economics. That's been shown not to work. You know, it's been treaded out so many times. And trickle down, you know, it didn't work for Reagan. Reagan, other than the fact that he got some, you know, the people in the business, financials, you know, that sort. But Kansas tried it, it failed. And we're going to be finding now a waterfall effect of whatever Trump economics is going to be. And it's trickling down. Actually, it's a waterfall down upon us. So we need to, you know, I guess I'm asking, what are the contingencies? Where do you cut? How do you cut? And I'm only going to bring this up as a, you know, Kansas tried it, trickle down didn't work. You know, $82 billion federal support last year for New York State. Obviously, it went from Medicaid, infrastructure, all sorts of things. I want to bring up, recently, there was Nebraska, state of Nebraska. They have $190 million state shortfall, and they opted not to tag into their rainy day fund, but rather increase taxes, which are going to disproportionately affect those without. So, you know, they anticipate $300 million less in revenues. And they summed it up as this, one of their state senators says, chaos is the word of the day. They said, we know that the only one thing we can do to improve our bottom line is to keep people here. Now they have 45% of their, roughly, that are agricultural based, that are, you know, are immigrants, documented and undocumented people. And they had 2 days ago, they had a raid on one of their meat packing plants in Omaha. And that, you know, was a small one. It wasn't the big one that in Omaha that buddy of Trump's. It was a small one. They came in, ICE came in and said you were 100% on your e-verification. Okay, 100%. But they're responding to investigating some fraud with identification fraud or something, some trumped up excuse. So now 30%, you know, they're operating at 30 or 20% capacity. The guys and businesses are going to close. They're affected by this. So I guess the point is, you know, what are your values? You know, what are our values? And for the life of me, I cannot understand why,
and it's foretelling. This is what's going to happen here. You know, those people are going to affect the economy right now in California, with all that going on. They're not picking strawberries. So, you know, what's the price going to do with strawberries? You know, there's so many downriver effects that's going to affect us here in Oswego County. Talked to one local farmer who said, you know, he's lucky he has Puerto Rican workers.
Legally.
So, yeah, and so small farm bankruptcies in Nebraska doubled from last year. Buyers, the people who are buying property in Nebraska are all corporate investor for the last 5 years. They're the ones who are going to benefit from the big, beautiful bill. You know, we do everything by the book, he said. Yeah, I guess the point is, I know I'm almost done here.
Okay, yeah, if you could wrap it up there.
All right. So the last thing I want to say is Wisconsin. You got to look ahead, look to other states and what's going to happen. Wisconsin now, their state legislature is now rewriting rules of what they're going to pass a bill. What a riot is. Where they're going to rewrite it as 3 or more people gathered together where there's some damage. That means anybody, like indivisible, if you call a meeting and somebody damages something along the way, you'll be held reliable under their law. And you know that these are think tanks that are just like the Enterprise Foundation or Heritage Foundation and Project 2025. They test them in different states, and then it gets spread around. And that's going to be the reality. There's also a provision in that bill that will not allow, if ICE comes in, it will allow a legislative body to override if a sheriff wants to work with them. And by the way, those in Nebraska, Omaha, 465,000 population, those people in that ICE raid, the police did not help. They did traffic control, but they did not help. Because they knew it was important to their economy.
All right.
So, all right, that's all I'm going to say.
Thank you.
We got to do better. You guys got to talk about it.
All right. Is there anyone else who would like to speak now while we wait?
Are they coming back or are they leaving out the back door? That's what I want to know.
First off, this meeting has been adjourned like we have for 25 years.
Yeah, now-
Having said that, I have no idea how long that meeting is going to take, nor the executive session, and I am not watching the back door.
We came to talk to you. We are your
Then
constituents.
come talk to me. I'm here for
Pay
it.
you.
I'm here.
We're here. The public comment period is now open. I gotta drive an hour to go home.
You know what?
So, if you have your opportunity, so to speak.
Your job. All right, let's take a break. Let's chill down here a little bit. We can sit here and wait. They're going to come back. I just don't know when. I'm trying to be polite and explain that to you. You think there's some nefarious stuff going on. There is not. So let's just take a break here. Mr. Fortier, you have any chocolate?
Folks,
Yeah, while we're waiting for everybody to get back in here, I think we probably got what we're going to get, but Legislator Scanlon has some information that he wants to share.
See, Youth Bureau is also having a lot going on coming up. They're looking for volunteers for the softball needed for girls softball, June 9th through August 15th. And that is from 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. You can contact the Youth Bureau to help if you'd like. Also, leadership of Oswego County Youth is now accepting applications for 2025-2026 class year. We're looking for 9th graders to 12th graders, students in Oswego County who are interested in fun, exciting, and learning experience. This would be a fun one for any kids getting ready to go to college and want to get involved with some other things. The other one we have is Camp Zerby is still taking registration. Camp Zerby is our camp out to the northeast on 104, straight out 104. It's a great camp. If you haven't been out there, you should check it out. A lot of good trails, a lot of good places to go for picnics. Also, there's a summer reading program challenge. This is New York State Assemblyman Will Barkley who's put this out. Anyone that has any kids that are willing to get involved with this, They're calling it Color Our World, and I believe it's going out to the schools as well. But if you have any grandkids or kids yourselves that want to get involved, this would be a good. And there is information on the table back here you can take to share with. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so thank you. Let's go over the format here quickly for those of you that may not have been here before. In the interest of fairness, we do allow 5 minutes, and I'd like to really see if we can hold to that. We have a couple of legislators and some department heads that have young children. They really going to have to cut it pretty short here if we don't move along. So having said that, Chris Weisenberger, legislator. Yes, Chris Weisenberger, if you come forward. Thank you.
Where are all the other legislators?
What's that?
Where are all the other legislators?
Some had to go, as I explained, and
So this is what I get?
the meeting has been adjourned, so.
Betsy, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Mr.
I
Legislator.
thought we voted to go into executive session while we were in.
No, I announced that there was a executive session after the meeting.
Okay,
We didn't
I
know
see it.
executive
I didn't hear
session.
it, well, you did, Kevin. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. I didn't hear it. Okay.
All right, thank you. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. So first of all, I just want to say that the meeting that you had after the end of the meeting here is not going to stop us from talking and speaking out. It's a delay tactic that's not going to work. Second of all, I'll start with what I want to say. Thank you for giving me this time to speak. Thank you for those of you who did stay. I appreciate it. I might suggest that we have public comment earlier in the meeting so that we can all be heard. I spent all day yesterday writing comments on the big beautiful bill. I did a lot of research. And I was going to end by asking the legislators, what I always do, to please pass a resolution against this bill. To please call Representative Tenney and ask her to vote no on this bill. And also to reach out to your colleagues throughout New York 24 and explain to them the damage that this bill is going to do. A sheet is being passed around with data that I got from a government website that will show you the damage the big, beautiful bill will do to Oswego County and the people of New York 24. But today, as I was getting ready to come over here, I saw on the news that Senator Padilla in California was thrown to the ground. He had handcuffs placed on him, all for asking a question at Kristi Noem's press conference. That is the beginning of a fascist authoritarian state. If they do it to a senator, who's to say Sheriff Hilton won't pick on one of us and lock us up, throw us to the ground? We are neighbors. Ed, you and I are neighbors. Sorry to call you out, but we are. Would you allow Sheriff Hilton to arrest me because you and I have different political views? Is that how this is going to play out? Anybody who comes to speak with a dissenting opinion is going to get thrown in jail? So right now, ICE is coming for immigrants. That's the first group. After the immigrants, they're going to come for the next group. Gays, women, anybody who's different. None of us are safe, not even you. I know you don't want to hear it. I know you watch different TV than I do. You listen to different news than I do. But you're all going to feel the pain of this when your neighbor is arrested. Or, going back to Mary Lowe's comments about the big, beautiful bill, when you no longer have health care or SNAP benefits, you're going to feel the pain. I urge you to call Tenny, Representative Tenny. Tell her that what they are doing is totally irresponsible and it's going to hurt all of us and it's destroying our country that I love. I love this country and I hate to see what's happening to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a small note, just for a little bit of a clarification. The video system that was referenced in the minutes that we're missing is not this system. It was a different system. Not fair to include this gentleman in that broad swing.
Never can tell though, Mr. Chairman, that's why I asked.
Oh, Legislator Castillo. All right, having said that, next I have Dr. Cohen.
Am I allowed to ask a question?
Well, right now it's just public comment period, sir. Thank you. You have 5 minutes.
5 minutes. I am speaking in protest due to the disrespect that we constituents are sitting here wanting to talk and we don't have a full audience. So I will speak, but I will speak in protest. So I want to, can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Because what I have to say is important. I want to call your attention to the cruel and disastrous attack on our health system by the current administration. Excuse me, I got to put my eyes on.
We'll pause on the time.
Medicaid provides health insurance for adults and children with limited income and resources. A proposed reduction of $880 billion in over a decade in federal Medicaid spending would result in 15.9 million Americans losing Medicaid coverage and 1.5 million people in New York State alone. If the bill were to pass slashing Medicaid, 16 million people would be kicked out of health care. It would be the largest health care cut in American history. The cuts will result in $3 billion losses for New York hospitals alone. Nearly 1/3 of rural hospitals are at immediate risk of closing. The strain of cuts could lead to potential closures immediately. Reduction in hospital services would have negative ripple effects on local economies like ours and potential job losses and decreased local spending. Serious threats to healthcare infrastructure. There are some of the effects, and I am a mental health professional. I want to let you know what some of the effects are. Here in our county, we have high poverty rates. In Oswego City alone, 29% of Oswego City residents live below poverty level. We have the 9th highest child poverty rate in New York State. And in terms of suicide rates, there were 51 completed suicides between 2019 and 2022. The suicide death rate is 13.1 per 100,000, as opposed to that of New York State, which is 8.2 per 100,000. And you know what? This is mostly among young people. Our children, our young adults. The 2023 Youth Risk Behavior Survey reported that 9.5% of kids ages 9 through 12 attempted suicide in this county. What are the effects of Medicaid cuts on our mental health services? Potential loss of psychiatric services, and we don't have enough psychiatric services to deal with. In my own private practice, I could not find a child psychiatrist to treat my patients. Increased cost of health care. The cuts would force states to limit eligibility. There would be a reduction in covered benefits. There would be absolutely decreased access to mental health care and substance use treatment. There would be incredible increase in emergency psychiatric services. And as it is right now, we hardly have any to begin with. And if any of you are familiar with CPEP, The psychiatric emergency services, they used to be at St. Joe's. I don't know if they're still there. I work there myself. And we don't have enough resources for children or adults. So, the question becomes, ladies and gentlemen, the question becomes, what is this legislative body going to do about this? Your seats come. They are not free. Your seats come with responsibility. They come with courage to stand up to what is wrong. And I am not speaking to you as Republican versus Democrats. I'm speaking to you as my neighbors, as my community. I'm speaking to you as families who have children who are at risk, children who have illnesses, children. We had a suicide, as you know, not that long ago. We cannot continue with this tragic situation. So I demand that you urge Mrs. Tenney to sum up some courage and decency and to do what is right and oppose this horrendous bill. Thank you.
Matt, is that your map?
Pardon me?
Is that your
No,
map?
that's not mine. By the way, if anybody wants to know more about this, I can do a whole lecture on it. I'm a professor on it, and this is a very serious.
Excuse me, could I just ask you one question? Yeah. Could I ask you a question? So in your private practice, do you accept Medicare and Medicaid?
I'm no longer in private practice. Now I am retired. But a lot of my colleagues, they don't want to stay in practice because, you know, they're going to get paid the reimbursement.
When you were in practice, did you?
Yes, I did. When patients were not able to afford, I gave them free service. Particularly our service members, who owe everything to them.
Thank you. At this time, I would call Rocco Saya. And again, for fairness, if we could limit it to 5 minutes. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rocco Saya, and I'm a computer scientist by trade. I spent about 20 years traveling the country and the world, teaching companies and even our own government the backbone of the internet. Besides working with programming around the world with computers, I'm also an avid photographer and videographer, and a passionate naturist. I've spent the better part of a decade in my spare time studying insects and wildlife. I finished this journey by writing an insect field guide for Oswego State University. In any case, I want to fast forward to this year. I find myself getting involved with Indivisible Oswego County. For those unfamiliar with IOC, we are a group of misfits, and I use that term lovingly. We have come together as a group to promote and protect democracy. We care about this country, just like I know every one of you care about this country and everyone in the audience. I've interviewed various participants who have been on the streets protesting. I have filmed this. I have seen the emotions and the concern and the love that many people have for this country. I have a lot of stories I could tell about that, but I don't have the time. But I will say this. Each day we place a lot of faith in one another, whether it's trusting the food that we buy in the grocery store, calling a taxi, or trusting that your government representatives do what's best for us, all of us. And I would just say, I'm not here to chastise any one of you representatives. I don't know you, but I know in your hearts that you're doing what you feel you need to help us all along. So I'm asking you, okay, as local representatives, that you speak up to the tyranny that we see taking place. And not just speak up, but act on it. In closing, I want to read a poem that I wrote in response to Trump calling protesters animals. We are animals. In halls of gold where shadows creep, the silence swells too loud to sleep. With haunting darkness, a spark takes flight. Like a firefly, you dance with glowing light. We are animals. With every lie, a truth must rise. With every shout, a bold reply. Like a bird that braves the sky, you rise again each time you try. We are animals. A hollow shell where empathy once shone, now shattered, pieces scattered alone. Through oceans vast may seem so wide, like the muddy whale, your voice echoes with pride. We are all animals. For all the power Trump may pose, the emperor has no truth, no clothes. Like the elephant, strong as stone, yet soft as soul. We march with purpose, calm and whole. We are animals. Thank you.
Thank you. We now could have Paul McKinney. Thank you, sir.
I promise to keep my time this time, Jim.
All right.
Thank you. I'm Paul McKinney, and I was here a month ago and asked the county legislature to write a no collusion proposal so that the county law enforcement agency wouldn't cooperate with ICE. And since then, obviously, nothing's been done. I wanted to share with you a few stories that have happened since then, contrary to what someone said earlier about arresting rapists and criminals. I have about 5 stories that have occurred in my hometown of Fulton. I want to share a couple of them. How would you feel if a young high school student at G. Ray Bodley came home to find his dad was missing? Gone. Gone. He's now being taken care of. He's staying with one of his teachers so they can find his father. Or how about the young man who left Walmart, Jim, on errands around Fulton, stopped a couple places, and suddenly realized that he was being followed by a black van with black windows. And when he left the city limits, they pulled him over. And before he could even give his documents, they harassed the hell out of him. Pulled him out of the car, pushed him up against the car, When they finally read his documents, they said, oh yeah, you're legal, you can go. Or how about this one? A teacher, an educator in Fulton, was looking out her window after coming home from school, and she sees about 10 very large men dressed totally in black with black hoods, okay? Black hoods, peeking in her car windows and peeking in her house windows. They finally knock on her door, and they're looking for somebody. They ask her all kinds of questions. She held her own, okay? And at the end of which, one of the gentlemen, who was not even marked with police, which legally they're supposed to do, said, oh, we got the wrong house. This is really real. These aren't made up stories. This isn't fake news. These are real people. You see, what's happening now with ICE is they're doing something they call a dragnet. Do you know what a dragnet is? You don't know what it is? Well, think of a fisherman who throws out a huge net wanting to collect a particular fish, right? But in the process, what happens? They collect a lot of other fish that don't belong in the net. Is this what we want? You have the opportunity right now to do the right thing, to prevent here what's happening in the country, to protect innocent people. These are innocent people. These are documented people that are being arrested and taken. This young kid who came home, his dad's lived here for years, owns a home in Fulton. Gone. You know, when I was driving here today, I was thinking of my mom growing up. I grew up in Fulton, and I'll just take a couple more seconds. And my family consisted of my older sister and my brother-in-law, who lived up in a little apartment that my dad made for them when they got married. And downstairs was my younger sister and my younger brother. And I remember so clearly my mom, once in a while at night, would say to us on the way to bed, hey guys, listen, now remember, the only thing you have to do when you put your head on your pillow tonight is ask yourself, did I do the right thing today? And if you didn't, you got tomorrow, guys, to do better. So I'm going to ask everyone here, everyone there, tonight when you go home, because I think you got a good heart. When you put your head on the pillow tonight, ask yourselves, did I do the best that I could today? And if you didn't, try to do better tomorrow.
We now have Shelley Skellington. Thank you. You have 5 minutes.
Okay.
Buenas noches. ¿Cómo estás? Does anyone know what that is? Good evening, and how are you? Okay. My name is Shelley Skellington. I reside here in Oswego County. And currently, I can't say anything. Never mind. Okay. So I'm going to talk about, are we set with the phone? Tax contributions by undocumented immigrants in 2022. I have the totals here in front of me, and Kayla is passing out some of the copies of this. 96.7 billion taxes were paid into New York State by undocumented immigrants. And the breakdown is in your, the graph that you have here. I have worked in various positions in my career, and
one of them being in social work, and I've worked with many immigrants and refugees in central New York. They're some of the kindest, most gracious people you will ever meet. I've sat at their tables and had dinner with people that don't even speak the same language. I only speak Spanish by chance. So when you look over these papers and see what is done and what is contributed, and when these individuals that work in our county and our state and contribute this money, they do not get to take advantage of, say, health care or any other benefits that they're paying into, even including Social Security and one day to retire. So that money goes to our state, to the constituents, the people that reside here, people on Medicare. So your undocumented immigrants are contributing to Medicare as well, and Medicaid. So I just want to talk a little bit about the enrichment that these people bring to our community. I live in Lacona, New York, and there's a dairy farm there right now with 3,000 cattle. Who do you think's working that dairy farm? Does anyone have an answer? What's that?
There's immigrants.
Yes. So with the issue with ICE and your local police supporting ICE, which is really not their position unless there's a law broken, that's when the local police can activate that, you know. But as far as supporting ICE and doing the raids that they're doing, they're going in the workplace to where people are doing jobs that your local Oswego County people that utilize the welfare system would never work in. Am I correct? Does anyone have anything to say about that?
Correct.
What about some of our legislators here? What is your opinion on this?
This is public comment for you.
Well, you guys are also part of the public. Yes, you are a legislator, but you're a public individual in our community. So, I mean, I think it's a right question to ask. What are your thoughts? What do you do about these situations? I mean, ICE is, you know, they're all over the place and they're doing things that are just not appropriate at this moment. The climate is horrific, and people that I have friends that are documented and are citizens and naturalized, they're scared to death of ICE. And I sat at a dinner with the Turkish community at the Rice Center in Syracuse, New York a couple weeks ago, where they awarded Toby Shelley and also the state police, or the Syracuse City Police, CISO. Now these guys said they only go when the law is broken. They do not support ICE. So I would hope and I pray that this county would follow suit and be decent about this, because we are a huge dairy community, this county. As tonight, you know, Cornell was here. It's just kind of ironic. We are a dairy community and we want to support ICE. So I hope you take that in consideration, and please respect the individuals that are doing these jobs that your local regular citizens will not do. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. At this point, we would like Patty Famelo to come forward, please.
Can I see if the sheriff is available? I wouldn't mind having him listen in if he's still here. He could watch the tape.
Public comment period. It's not, this is not a debate. It's not question and answer period.
No, she said just listen.
Okay. Very good. He is listening. He has his own setup.
Thank you. You had 5 minutes.
I remember. I'm Patty Famelo. I live in District 19, home to Marie Schatt, our only incumbent Democratic legislator. I hope you'll join me in wishing Marie a speedy recovery from her recent surgery. President Trump has told us that the immigrant population in our country is the worst of the worst. Migrant criminals, illegal monsters, killers, gang members, poisoning our country and taking our jobs. These lies remind me of Trump's old friend, Alex Jones. No lie is too big or too heinous. Remember the lie that Jones told about the Sandy Hook school shooting being fake and staged? Or Trump's own lies about the election being stolen and the January 6th insurrection being a day of love? Currently, we have protests all across this country because people do not think the immigrant problem will be solved by the brutal methods being exercised by ICE. Americans know that everyone is entitled to due process, and they have been peacefully protesting about this issue. You must know, or if you don't know, and Shelley alluded to it, that this community has always welcomed and needed undocumented farm workers. This fact has not changed. The workers have not changed. So why are we dedicating tax dollars and resources to assisting ICE in its brutal and unnecessary roundup of farm workers and their families? Our own farmers want and need these workers, and they bring them here. I encourage everyone to read reporting from Michelle Breidenbeck of the Post-Standard on the subject of how Oswego County deputy sheriffs are racially profiling Hispanics, pulling them over on non-existent or minor traffic violations, and turning them over to ICE and Border Patrol. Is this type of racism condoned by the elected leaders of this county? Our county is not required to assist ICE, and there is growing proof that when local law enforcement works with ICE, the fear and mistrust created makes situations more volatile, more dangerous for everyone, including law enforcement. Did you know that being undocumented is not a crime, as Shelley said? It's a civil violation, like jaywalking. I encourage Oswego County to adopt the no collusion with ICE policy, to limit Oswego County's role in assisting ICE with immigration enforcement unless there is a signed arrest warrant by a judge. In another article by Breidenbeck of the Post-Standard, and I brought them with me, I'm happy to leave them with the sheriff. She reports on a farmer in Cortland County who is a profile in courage. He describes why upstate dairy farmers need undocumented workers, how there is no legal pathway for these workers to come here, how farmers file false paperwork and pay the government taxes and Social Security on migrant workers who will never collect a benefit, and how local law enforcement has, until recently, turned a blind eye. This farmer has testified before Congress and suggested a framework for guest worker legislation. For decades, the federal government left dairy farmers and other farmers alone. Now ICE is pursuing migrants in our community all over upstate New York. Trump's second presidential term has forced a reckoning. It's a big industry in New York. We're the 5th largest dairy producer. All right, Jim, I get the idea. I just want to leave you with the big, beautiful bill gives $150 billion more to ICE. Another reason to veto that bill. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, if we could have Aaron Tiorine. Thank you.
Fiorini.
What's that?
Fiorini.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, like I said, my name is Erin Fiorini, and I too urge the legislature to enact a no collusion resolution to prohibit local government agencies from cooperating with Border Patrol or any federal immigration agents. Trying to begin this letter, I first thought of relating today's immigration tactics to how my Italian-born grandfather arrived in New York with no papers and how that differs from today. He was sponsored by Italian-born Domenico and Giulia Accenzi, who later became his in-laws when he married their daughter, my grandmother Mary. Here are his naturalization papers, which he gained in 1931, just 9 years after he arrived. It's a quick turnaround by today's standards. His neighbors at that time are listed in the 1930 census. People from Switzerland, New York, England, and Italy. Then I thought, well, I should include history from my mom's family, who were descendants of Hiram and Lucy Gilbert, famed abolitionists who hid colored people, quote, and reunited enslaved families who had been separated by white owners, defying unjust laws. The Gilberts were wealthy mill owners who lived on their namesake road, Gilbert's Mills in Schuylkill. There's a map showing the Underground Railroad right over there. Then I wondered, well, how do I incorporate this fascinating cartoon that depicts U.S. tropes about immigrants in the late 19th century? It shows a short, angry man telling Uncle Sam, if immigration were properly restricted, you would no longer be troubled by the anarchy, the socialism, and other evils. The image depicts so-called, quote, German socialists, Russian anarchists, Polish vagabonds, Italian brigands, and English convicts, and Irish paupers arriving in New York. Then I thought, no need to discuss those. Just cut to the chase. Our ask is simple. Follow the Fourth. Follow the Fourth Amendment. Refrain from targeting brown people in their cars, their home, near their workplaces, or anywhere. I want to be clear, very clear. We're not asking for an extra here, a progressive boogeyman concept that's in fashion today. Our baseline is simple. Follow the Fourth Amendment. No unwarranted searches. If there's a judicial warrant, do what's warranted. If not, follow the Fourth. No targeting Latinos in our streets to help meet a federal quota or seek vengeance on a previous administration. At present, as already noted, there are too many instances of people being detained and then turned over to Border Patrol. Each of those people is then separated from us, their friends, their families, those taken leave behind, wives, kids, sisters, kids, husbands, kids, who are left to maintain their households. Currently, a Fulton Junior High student is now creating silk flowers to sell to support her family after her father, an asylum seeker who was well into his case. He was already doing medical exams. It's very far in. He had to go all the way to Utica for that. In the U.S., so he's been here had been here for 12 years, was a property owner in Fulton. A data for was stopped by local law and then turned over to Border Patrol in January. And he's back in El Salvador. So I leave you with this rose that his daughter gave. Thank you.
All right, again, thank you for coming. This no more speakers tonight. I would welcome you back. Our next meeting is July 10th. I believe it's 2 p.m. See you there. Drive safe.